थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़िए, थोड़ा सा आगे, थोड़ा सा आगे प्लीज।
Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Once again, start. Once again, start. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
पीछे जो करता है दिखाना ब्लैक शर्ट भाजी पोंचो 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 शर्ट फ्रेम बनाओ
You all are requested to keep your mobile phones on switched off or silent mode, please.
जी अगे आ जाओ अगे जाओ अंदर चले जाओ
लक्ष्य नदी का घाट घाट को छूकर जाना थोड़ी है, छोटी मोटी लहरें लेकर नाव बहाना थोड़ी है। उसको तो सागर बनना है, उसको तो बादल बनना है, बरसना और भिगाना है, भारत को आगे ले जाना है, भारत को आगे ले जाना है। Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. Namaste, Abhinandan, Pranam. I, Rita Sharma, scientist at BRIC-Nabi, on behalf of the whole Nabi family, welcome you all on this momentous occasion that marks the beginning of new dreams, new aspirations, and new Nabi. We are extremely honored to have with us the esteemed presence of Honorable Union Minister of State, Independent Charge of the Ministry of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, Director General BRIC and Secretary Department of Biotechnology, Professor Rajesh Gokhale, Senior Advisor and Head of Directorate Biomanufacturing DBT, Dr. Alka Sharma, Managing Director BIRAC, Dr. Jitendra Kumar. आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत, आभार, अभिनंदन. I would also like to sincerely acknowledge the cherished presence of all the dignitaries and guests from DBT, BRIC, neighboring institutions, faculty, staff, and researchers. A very, very warm welcome to you all. इस दिव्य ज्योति का अनुसरण करते हुए इस महाउत्सव को आगे बढ़ाते हैं. Now I request our Executive Director to formally welcome the gathering and set the stone for the historic evening.
Namaskar. Very good afternoon to one and all sitting in this hall. It's with great enthusiasm that I welcome you all to the inauguration of our National Agri-Food Biomanufacturing Campus. We are especially honored to have with us our chief guest, the Honorable Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji from Ministry of Science and Technology. Sir, your presence today not only inspires us, but underscores your unwavering commitment to the innovation and sustainability. We are indebted to have you with us despite your busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir. We are also joined by other luminaries such as Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, who is the Director General BRIC and Secretary Department of Biotechnology, Dr. Alka Sharma, Senior Advisor and Director of Biomanufacturing Directorate at DBT, and Dr. Jiten Singh Ji from MD as a BIRAC, along with other esteemed dignitaries from DBT, from BRIC, and the CRIC institution. A warm welcome to friends from media and press as well, our dedicated faculty member, and our bright future, bright students who are sitting in the hall and listening in another hall as well. All of you know biomanufacturing is conceived similar to the Swiss Army knife, which we have seen since our childhood. It can do multiple jobs. The biomanufacturing is also considered a similar kind of science. It's versatile, it's innovative, and it's also equipped to tackle processing and pressing challenges in healthcare, agriculture, and environmental sustainability, and beyond. Sir, I would like to mention that this campus is more than just a structure. It's a beacon of creativity and collaboration, ready to drive impactful solutions to our society under your guidance and support. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, and all other partners for your continuous support. Your belief in the transformative power of science and education has made this vision a reality. As we embark on this exciting journey, I would like to mention that we are not merely constructing a facility or an institution par excellence. We are nurturing a vibrant community of innovators and innovation who are all set to change the world in a good way. Together, we will explore new frontiers and unlock solutions that can improve lives and create a sustainable future. Once again, welcome to all on this historic occasion. Thank you for joining us to celebrate the significant milestone in the form of National Agri-Food and Biomanufacturing Institute. Thank you very much.
May I please now request Dr. Alka Sharma, Senior Advisor and Head of Directorate, Biomanufacturing DBT, to share a few words with us.
Namaskar. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, and DG BRIC, Chairman BIRAC, Dr. Rajesh S. Gokhale, Director NABI, Dr. Ashwini Parekh, MD BIRAC, Dr. Jitin Kumar, faculty, students, startups, innovators, and representatives from industries. It is a great pleasure to be here with all of you today. First of all, I would, on behalf of Department of Biotechnology, I would like to thank our Honorable Minister to spare his valuable time for today's event. In spite of his busy schedule, sir, we are truly grateful for your gracious presence today with us. Through your leadership, vision, guidance, and encouragement, biotech sector is reaching new heights. Today, it is a great moment for all of us to be a part of a significant milestone, dedication of National Agri-Food and Biomanufacturing Institution campus to the nation by our Honorable Minister. This represents commitments from the government towards implementation of Bio-E3 policy, that is biotechnology for economy, environment, and employment, approved by our government under the chairmanship of the Honorable Prime Minister and launched by the Honorable Minister in August this year. This will be the first institution in biomanufacturing, especially to address gaps and challenges in agri-food, which is the need of the hour for the country. We are confident that this campus will serve as a source of inspiration for the students, startups, innovators, and industries, and will provide them the opportunity to contribute significantly in agri-food and biomanufacturing sector. All the very best and congratulations once again for the inauguration of first biomanufacturing institute in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam. Now I request Dr. Jitendra Kumar to kindly share his remarks, please.
Honorable Minister Shri Jitendra Singh Ji, Secretary Sir, Alka Ma'am, Scientist H, Department of Biotechnology, Dr. Ashwini Parekh, Director of this institution. I'm great to be here today. It's a privilege to be here today to see the coming off of new institution, the inception of new institution of great eminence for the country, as well as the inauguration of the BioNest Center. The biomanufacturing aspect, I think it will be dealt by our secretary, sir. But I'm very glad to share with you my experience with the bio-incubation centers and the newest one which is coming up today, which has been set up here, inaugurated today. We have around 100 bionest centers, more than 100 now in our country. And it has become a hotbed of innovations and startups. And the newest one, this one, I think is the greatest addition because I think Chandigarh can be a great cluster, the innovation cluster. One thing is the proximity to Delhi. The other thing is it has a great institutional presence of course, the host institution today here, NABI. And then we have Institute of Microbial Technology, Chandigarh, which is my alma mater. Then Punjab University, ICER. And also, I think there is a presence of a great institution, management institution, Institute of India School of Business. And all together, I think it can be a great, a great place to start the innovation startups. There are a lot of startups already incubated in many of these centers, by incubation centers. One is in Punjab University, one is in ICER already. So I think one institution at least should come up, and I request director of this institution to come as a champion of this cluster and knit together all these great institutions here. What it will do is, because now it's a collaborative work, most of these research happens in a very, very collaborative manner. The startups, if they find some use here in this institution, some in ICER, and there could be a co-incubation model. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm glad to share that there may be around 15 to 20 startups here which have been invited to attend this event. And I wish all the best to this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kumar, for your insights. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to invite an eminent scientist and our visionary leader, Professor Rajesh Gokhale, to kindly address the gathering.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Union Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, Dr. Alka Sharma, my colleague from Department of Biotechnology, Senior Advisor, Dr. Jitendra Kumar, MD BIRAC, Dr. Ashwini Parekh, Director of so-called new institute, NABI, BRIC-Navi, and my colleagues and friends from both NABI and SIAP. Today, you all get together as a NABI institution, actually, which is National Agri-Food and Biomanufacturing Institute. I think it's my pleasure to stand in front of all of you on this wonderful occasion, actually. Wonderful for two reasons, because increasingly as I'm trying to, maneuver across biotech ecosystem, I'm realizing that the merging of minds is really only way of multiplying possibilities. And merging of minds only happens when you break walls, when you do away with your thought processes, when you do away with your own restricted rooms that you create, actually, that are kind of sometimes limit us of our imaginative thinking and allow us to do fantastic stuff. I think this is an event to celebrate the merger of NABI and SIAB to form a biotech powerhouse. I think we should all celebrate this as a day of biotech powerhouse for the agri-food industry as we look forward to strengthen this institution towards super heights of what it is envisaged and take it up to even higher levels. I think if I look at most of the NABI work used to be on the seed-related activities. And the SIAB used to be, for example, on the harvest part of it, actually, whenever you do it. And now, these two becomes natural partners, if you really look at. I mean, these two institutions were together on the same campus, but they were natural partners. And I think we could never grow into a strength that every institute could exist. So I believe together they will cultivate the culture of biotech excellence and will create value for the country that we all aspire for in every part of our PhD career or research careers of perspective. From a Department of Biotechnology perspective, it's a day to feel proud of ourselves. First of all, Honorable Minister is here on this wonderful occasion and he kindly agreed to be part of this wonderful ceremony. because he has been the guiding light and a mentor for Department of Biotechnology. In fact, he tries to go out and talk about biotechnology in various sectors, which has given us boost. And thank you very much, sir, for your guidance of trying to push us to say, push the boundaries, make yourself look available for the country. And I think towards that, Department of Biotechnology came up with the Bio-E3 policy, actually. And you can look at, this is one of the most futuristic policy that our country has ever come out with. It talks about how biotechnological solutions will provide economic development while taking care of environment and also generating employment, actually. And these three aspects are very highly interlinked. If you don't have an employment, you won't have an innovation, because people who are coming to innovation ecosystem, where will they go, actually? And therefore, these are very much interlinked events that will allow us to look at how future of biotech ecosystem would work. Couple of things that I would like to talk to you from younger people, since many of the students are over here, actually. Very often, we only look at history to tell us what the future holds for ourselves, actually. I think we need to start looking at completely different way. The history only tells you what should be done, or more clearly tells you what you should not do, actually. But it never tells you what the future should be. What it only tells you is that how we can change the perspective, because you have understood stuff of it. For example, if you really look at, India is growing at a 7% rate economically that no other country has been able to match for last 4 to 5 years, actually. Everybody still aspires to go to countries to do their postdoctoral work, which are growing at the rate of 2% or 2.5% or 3% of the economic growth. Now just imagine yourself, if the growth is so stagnated in those countries, where will you get good jobs? You can get jobs because the footprint is very large, S&T footprint is very, very large in that country, and therefore you are likely to have a very larger number of opportunities. But the growing stature of our country, now you can look at, there is an army of international visitors that are coming to India, and they're all fighting for the space to look at. For example, if you look at European countries, now their growth almost in every aspect is in the negative side, including the demography itself, actually. Now they're constantly looking at people from India, skilled people from India, to contribute to their economic benefit. Now you imagine the institution of this kind, and today in the morning when we had wonderful discussion with faculties discussing scientific projects and programs, enormous potential exists for these technologies to be able to develop such that you not only do innovation, but also create value and also create jobs that are of tremendous significance to this country's growth. From the point of view of efficiency, you will see that there will be increased resources available for these institutions to be doing together. There will be an expanded reach. The enhanced, improved governance will be there. And also there are various opportunities that all students can work together and bring a useful aspect of life. What is very critical is the networking. So towards this, many of you must have understood, actually, we have set up a program called I3C. Now this I3C PhD program is a very forward-looking program. If you really look at what we try to do in this program, is what we call innovate, incubate, and immerse through collaborations. Now, what is the purpose of this program? Now, if you look at, presently, our PhD student projects are project-based. It is based on in the depth knowledge of what you want to do, like that, actually. However, what you really want to solve is a problem. Now, how can you, in your PhD program, solve a problem? Now, you can only solve a problem if a cross-section of students come together and make these things happen as a group of activities. Rather than linearly many students in the same lab following, which will take decades to solve the problem, can you now, through a cross-section of PhD students, solve the problems that country wants to solve? And therefore, this is a very, very forward-looking program. In fact, we are trying to set footprints for the entire world to follow up on how PhD of students should be done. And that is very important to understand, because as you learn to solve problems, you actually aspire to solve more bigger problems. And this aspiration leads to enormous opportunities that are completely not seen through a common glass of the viewpoint. And that's why for students to provide this opportunity was very, very critical. Similarly, the BioE3 policy actually sets guidelines and provides an opportunity for us to bring together all our thought processes and ideas, integrate programs, understand the sustainability part of life, which is so critical and important for our own survival, look at the climate change problem, understand how the growth dynamics will in fact span out, and can we design components, or will things happen in an organic way only by which everything has progressed thus far in a country actually. So I think it's an enormous opportunity, and I will just leave you with something that all of you will connect for actually. And I think this is to tell you how Indian government is dramatically changing the ways of doing various things in the country. All of you must have used fintech revolution. Now you look at fintech revolution. Before the fintech revolution that India aspired for, all the countries used to use MasterCard or Visa. Now every transaction that used to happen from MasterCard or Visa used to get payments to the company. What India did, India set up the DPI, which is basically digital revolution in the country, such that the government stack does not allow money to be given to private industry, but it's free for all the citizens to utilize actually. So just imagine the power of government and government institutions are that in terms of deployment, in terms of creating value, in terms of making technologies happen, are how unprecedented in its own ways. And so believe me, Indian people are writing stories for the world to follow. And this is where biotech sector has to grow. The biotech in next 25 years is going to define how the industrial revolution is happening and how this will create tremendous amount of value, prosperity, growth, and value chain, which is of unprecedented nature that is not feasible in a given period of time. I'm sure that this institute is going to be being one of the real leaders of this aspect. And I wish all my best wishes to you actually. Dr. Ashwini has done a fantastic job over the years, and I'm very proud to say that he has been able to bring people together in all domains of areas and has been creating fantastic value. And you can see Honorable Minister being present here, and this is the third time he's visiting this institution in the last few years. And you can imagine the amount of time he's willing to give to this organization. Last time he was here, I couldn't even come, and for the speedy trials, and he himself said, don't worry, Rajesh, you take care of this, and I will take care of that part. And I think it's such supportive people in the government, you can only imagine what can be done for the future of the country. And it lies all with your hands. I'm sure you'll do all the best out of it. Thank you very much, and namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir. Extending our reach, vision, and commitment beyond local stakeholders, NABI will now have a new website, a new gateway to the new NABI. I request Honorable Minister Dr. Singh to kindly launch the new website of BRIC-NABI. Next, we are very excited to introduce a compendium of the in-house biomanufacturing technologies, showcasing our expertise in innovative solutions for real-life challenges. I request all the dignitaries to kindly release the portfolio. Our portfolio features cutting-edge projects including edible fruit coatings, functional gummies, protein powder, energy bites and symbiotics, low-calorie functional sugar and sweetener, natural insect repellent and colorant, lignin-based food packaging films and biofertilizers, low glycemic index wheat, anthocyanin biofortified wheat, and provitamin A biofortified golden banana, sensors for detecting contamination of arsenic, foodborne bacteria, and thermal surveillance. Each project demonstrates our technical capabilities and commitment to innovation, addressing real-world challenges through impactful technology-driven solutions. Next, in alignment with the government's vision for doubling farmers' income and Make in India initiative and a collective dream of Viksit Bharat, I request the dignitaries on the stage to kindly launch the BioNest BRIC-Nabi Incubation Center flyer. With a focus on supporting local youth, women, and farmers, the center will provide access to the state-of-art research and development facilities, mentorship, and a robust translational ecosystem. We are also excited to announce our first biomanufacturing workshop. I request the dignitaries to kindly release flyer for the same. In line with the Government of India's BioE3 initiative, this event is a crucial step in enhancing biomanufacturing capabilities and promoting collaborations in this field. The workshop will be conducted from December 16 to 18th this year, and both expert lectures and hand-on experimental sessions will be carried out. Please join us as we drive innovation and create impactful solutions together. As you all are aware, during the first society meeting of BRIC, the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, launched the Zero Waste Life on Campus program. This initiative aims to achieve sustainability through the application and adoption of knowledge and technologies, as well as the promotion of management models focused on co-responsibility across each BRIC campus. Today, I feel proud to announce the launch of the It's My Cup initiative at NABI. As part of this initiative, each and every employee of NABI will receive 1 cup, reducing our reliance on disposable cups. I request all the dignitaries to kindly unveil the cups. Thank you very much, everyone. जो व्यक्ति निर्माण करे, विकास की सुरभि में प्राण भरे. जो व्यक्ति निर्माण करे, विकास की सुरभि में प्राण भरे, जो नवाचार नव अनुसंधान को सब तक निस्वार्थ पहुंचाता है, वो केवल प्रशासक नहीं, राष्ट्र निर्माता कहलाता है, राष्ट्र निर्माता कहलाता है. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to call upon such an exemplary and visionary leader among us, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, to infuse the gathering with his inspiring words.
धन्यवाद रीटा शर्मा जी. पिछली बार भी इस कार्यक्रम में आप ही ने संचालन किया था और आपकी प्रशंसा आपके मुख से सुनकर बहुत अच्छा लगा था. इसलिए जब आपको देखा कि आपने मंच संभाला है तो हमारा उत्साह और अधिक हो गया. मैंने पारिक साहब से कहा कि कुछ एक जो अपनी तारीफ भूल चुके हैं आज फिर से इनके मुख से सुनने को मिलेगी. थैंक यू फॉर योर काइंड इंट्रोडक्शन. On the dais, Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, and our colleague, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, Advisor, Dr. Alka Sharma, Dr. Jitendra Kumar, and of course, your very pragmatic Director, Dr. Parikh, members of the faculty, scientific fraternity, startups, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very providential coincidence that this ceremony and this program is happening at a time when, as Rajesh was just mentioning, Government of India has just come out with the biotechnology policy, the BioE3. And as he mentioned, this is biotechnology for economy, for employment, for environment. And what is important is, I think, how much it has occurred to you is that this is one of the major decisions taken by the Government of India in its first 100 days of the third term. Usually the political governments don't give much of a prioritization to the scientific initiatives, but that speaks of the intent and the futuristic vision of the government headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And to me personally, of course, that's not per se related to biotechnology. What I was actually mentioning yesterday itself, I said the three major decisions taken in the first 100 days have something or the else to do with science, innovation, and technology. One is, of course, the Bio-E3. The other one was the decision to allocate 1,000 crore of venture fund for the space startups, because we just had one space startup about 3 years back, and after it was opened up for the private sector, it's now gone up to almost 300. And the third decision was Mission Mausam, which is meant to raise your weather forecast standards to the global level. So all these three decisions happening within the first 3 months of Modi government 3.0 actually indicate a huge science push which this government under Prime Minister Modi intends to give. And that, I think, is what is going to realize finally the concept of Viksit Bharat, as Prime Minister Modi keeps saying. That's why I said, and of course, added to that, if it is not occurred to you, when we had the vote on account, because when the government is going for election, you usually don't come out with the full budget, you come out with a smaller budget, which is called vote on account, meant to carry on with the day-to-day expenses, and which happened just before the Lok Sabha election was to happen, somewhere in February. And in the vote of accounts, Rajesh would bear me out, we had the provision for biofoundries. Now that is not a budget per se, that really is only with certain aspects which are absolutely essential, which can't wait for the elections to happen. But there too, we found a slot. So you can understand how much importance and how much priority this government has been giving to this sector, which was possibly either unexplored or underexplored by the earlier governments, or did not receive the kind of attention it deserved. And that also, I think, is because of the conscious realization, because we are among the first few countries who have come out with an exclusive policy devoted to or dedicated to biotechnology. And that also, I think, is indicative of the fact that the political dispensation of the country today is deeply conscious of the fact that if we are rising up an economy, as Rajesh was mentioning, we are growing by 7%, we were fragile 5, now we are first 5, then we're going to be 4, 3, and so on. Where is the value addition going to come from? So it's going to come from this sector, which has so far remained unexplored. And there's going to be an industry shift from the conventional solutions to cost-effective solutions, to cleaner solutions, to eco-friendly solutions, to modern solutions. And that's very consciously being realized with the government. And at the same time, the economy is also going to shift from manufacturing to synthetic productions, which of course will be greatly dealt by this institute and the other sister institutes of biotechnology. And therein also lies the value of the potential of the living organisms and the importance of harnessing the power of living organisms. So I think this is something, I'm glad that India has realized this before many others could do, because otherwise we were always a decade or so behind others. I always cite the example of television, which happened in the US in 1950s, and we got to see the first Chitrahar in 1970s. But it's no longer so. And in this year itself, just in the beginning, we launched mission quantum technology. We are among the 5 or 6. So also in this case, and this inauguration of the National Agri-Food and Biomanufacturing Institute and the merger of two, I think is again happening at the right time, because India's scientific experts are ready to go ahead, India's government is ready to support, India's vast bioresources are waiting to be explored, and the world is ready, in fact, to learn from India's experience. And therefore, it's no longer that we were not taken very seriously till about a decade or so ago. Now we are looked forward not only to be equal partners, but also for picking up vital cues. And I think the greatest evidence, because all of us, being from the scientific fraternity, have been taught not to speak without evidence. The greatest evidence is that of the Chandrayaan-3. We are the first to land at the South Pole, and those who started much before us are waiting for the inputs and the samples collected by our mission. And so also is the case here, and therefore I'm sure what we have accomplished today, or the beginning that we have made today, is going to address a number of flagship priorities of this government, the flagship agenda of this government, which means, of course, the economic growth, the commitment to environment, because Prime Minister was the one who made this announcement that we'll go net zero by 2070. Of course, the Make in India, as symbolized by this cup, which all of us held for the photograph. And of course, that also speaks of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And as Parik was saying, the doubling of the farmers' income. So all these are priority areas ever since Prime Minister Modi took over in 2014. And I'm glad that this institute has become part of that priority journey of this government. And one more objective that's being served today, and I'm glad that the Department of Biotechnology was the first to take a call, is the merger of the two institutes. When this thought occurred about 6, 7, 8 years back that we should stop working in silos, and now the time has come to get integrated, because if you have to grow beyond this, we can't grow without integrating with each other. The larger integration, rather the extended integration, I was saying in the meeting before that, we should involve industry rather in a big way, so that they have the stakeholder. And once they invest, it will pinch them, they'll own it. And in that move, when this appeal was made across the government that they should try to integrate the institutes which they could, or do away with the institutes which were not meant to be separate ones, so that we could work in a more holistic manner. I am glad that the Department of Biotechnology was the first to integrate those 14 institutes, I believe, Rajesh, under a single umbrella of BRIC. And today that 14 also got reduced to 13. So did you realize that? So you brought it down. So you took the lead before the other ministries could do. I think this was the first department in the ministry, in any ministry across the government, which took that initiative at the behest of Honorable Prime Minister, and we have now today moved one step further. And this merger, I'm sure, will strengthen the collaboration between the biotechnology experts and also the bioprocessing experts. And this combined expertise will, of course, supplement our agricultural production and also the farmers' income, as was being mentioned. And BRIC-Navi, of course, is also will be better positioned to work out collaborations both at the national level and the international level. And I must also mention the BioNest Incubation Center, which was inaugurated just now, a bridge between the research and the industry. We just had a meeting with the representatives of the industry also. And that is, of course, going to serve the purpose of innovation, entrepreneurship. I hope they will work out public-private participation in a bigger way, because I firmly believe the more is the private participation happening. And there was a lot of skepticism in this country about this thought, but we feel now abundantly vindicated and are also confident after our success story of the space sector. Because everybody was apprehensive whether to open up the space sector. Nobody had gone in. It was forbidden, actually, Sriharikota. Today, for each launching, you have tens and thousands of people watching it, and thousands of media persons. And therefore, that also leads to the demand creation and the market expansion. And I'm sure this incubator center is going to be a boon for the startups also, to provide them access to technical facilities, state-of-art infrastructure, and also technical platforms. And as was being mentioned by Rajesh, that many who went abroad with just for 2% growth now will have to also rethinking, because I think that's part of the mindset. So what is happening is the technology is moving fast, the mind is not moving equal pace. So that's the point, problem with us. And the pace of the evolution of technology is also increasing. What happened or what evolved in 10 years earlier is now evolving in 3 years. But our mindset is not. So it will take 2-3 generations. कहते हैं संस्कार बदलने में 3 पीढ़ियां लगती हैं. So that mindset of going abroad. But do you know, this time we had that German meeting, 3 days back. Last time this meeting was in Berlin. So I have this curiosity of meeting the youngsters there. So I came across almost every startup group there had maximum number of boys and girls from India. And so I asked one of the European group leaders, I said, why? So he then counted a number of reasons. He said they were very hardworking, they came with a mission mode, they were very industrious, and at the end, the last thing he said was, they don't take a weekend off. Our boys and girls disappear on Friday evening and reappear on Monday morning. So now the world has started recognizing our talent, acknowledging our talent. There was a time when our youngsters felt shy of introducing themselves as Indians. Now if they introduce themselves, that gives them a TRP for a better job or a better placement. So I think now is the time, and we also have consciously realized that in the sister department of Science and Technology, DST, we have launched a scheme called WebHub, wherein we facilitate young scientists to come back to work here. We also arrange projects for them which are compatible with their talent, with their aptitude, also their status. Maybe some of the leading institutions like IIT or Indian Institute of Science, etc. And then we are also contemplating some relaxations in getting job recruitments in the government sector if they wish to do so. But my personal experience there would be that we should be more aggressive in reaching out and telling them that, look here, now we have all that you look for there, and rather much more over here. And because the sooner they come back, the easier it is because after a few years, what happens is that they wish to come back, but the other paraphernalia that they gather over the years doesn't let them go. As the Shakespeare said, the flesh is willing, but the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. So what happens is that they raise a family, and that doesn't let them go. So I had the example of an IITian of the 1980s who actually wanted to get back. So I suggested to him that you take a project, experiment for 2-3 years. If you feel at home, then you can come back because you'll be spent there for so many years, 3 decades or so. And he was so determined and so resolved that he said, yes, I want to come back. And he said, I'll go home and wind up and then come. From there, he got in touch with us. He says, I want to come back, but my family says that choose either between us or between your project in India. And then, after introspection, he confessed to me, he said, my children, who are both of them teenagers, have not even once visited India, even for a holiday. So the point is that now I wish to go back, but they would not. So I think because after all you are children of the same society, you can't be keeping yourself aloof from the rest of what has been given to you by inheritance. So if you have peers, friends who are there, you can ask them. You have much here also to offer, both in terms of research, innovation, startups. We are now number 3 in the startup world in the startup ecosystem in the world. So, and when you have institutes like this one and the incubation center like this one, which are of course a world class, and they are constantly evolving now, as I said, our scientific capabilities are no longer behind others, and others are looking forward. I think I've seen some of the countries like UK and etc. They're much behind us, in fact. Leaving aside 2 or 3 countries, we are much ahead of others, both in human resources. In fact, most of their successful institutes are being run by our boys and girls. But as they grow of age, the other things hold them back. So I think this is also something, as I was talking to Dr. Parikh, I said we need to bring in more and more of awareness in the industry so that they get involved. So let them also design our projects so that they take the responsibility, they are equal stakeholders, the early industry linkage. And similarly, we also need to now, because it's not difficult in the age of social media and online information, to propagate. We can prepare small clippings of what you're doing, or small reels, which our boys are very fond of seeing. They see all kind of nonsense reels. Why not have a sensible reel as well? So you could prepare small reels doing this, and that would reach those who actually need to see them and get back to do what they are doing. Or also that would also encourage the startups, because still, particularly northern part of India, you still have this sarkari naukri mindset. So to get over that also, because they don't know, once they realize that they can earn so much of money. And for the sector like you are dealing with, I think the other message that has to go around is that you don't have to be a very big scientist or a postgraduate or a doctorate to be a startup. What this institute is offering can be a source of entrepreneurship and a very lucrative livelihood, even sometimes if you are just a graduate, not even a graduate. In the CSIR, we have launched this purple revolution called Lavender. We have about 3,000 startups rolling in millions. Many of them are not even startups. I'm sorry, not even graduates. But they had that passion. They are tuned to the technology. They are upgrading themselves. And institute like this is providing them all the technical know-how, also the financial support, the market linkage, their products, their perfumes are carried to the market in Maharashtra and Mumbai. In fact, two of the boys who were working in corporate sector, one the MBA, the other BTech in Bangalore, left their jobs and got back to do this. When we asked them, they said we were slogging for a corporate company 14 hours a day, and these guys, lesser qualified than us, making more money out of it. So when you make these youngsters realize that there's much, much more money outside this limited salaried government job, you would be able to actually make full utility of yourself in this society. So I think for that, we will have to be more active on our social media handles, and our websites need to be a little more. I mean, for this, for example, if today you have done this, it should have an eco effect. Let all the biotechnology institutes also tweet about it, propagate it, and don't wait for the conventional media because they are not very much interested in it. They may take time to actually. So even when I walk out, I'm sure they're not going to ask me about biotechnology. They are going to ask me something about Jammu Kashmir or something about Wayanad. So, because they are constrained by their management. But we have realized that the kind of technology we have, we don't need to depend on the conventional media. You can create your own ecosystem. And we did that successful coastal campaign, the world's largest coastal campaign in the Ministry of Earth Sciences. We had our own studio, and we didn't even hire professionals. Our boys, volunteers all over the country spread across the coastal area. They would send small clippings, videos. And they got so involved with it, and it was proved to be a huge success. So I think that is what is required. We are doing a lot of work, but it has to reach those for whom it is being done, so that they benefit. And I'm sure the workshop which you are holding in the month of December is going to be a step in that direction. I wish you all the best. This is one of the earliest, one of the first of its kind workshops, and I think one more first to the series of first that Dr. Parikh has been registering. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your persistent support, visionary guidance, and kindness. Now I request our Executive Director, Professor Parikh, to kindly felicitate the esteemed guests with a token of gratitude and appreciation. आप सबसे निवेदन है कि तालियों के साथ हमारे साथ बने रहें. Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh ji. ये शॉल इधर से दे दो. DG BRIC and Secretary DBT Professor Rajesh Gokhale ji. I request Professor Gokhale to please come forward. I once again invite our Executive Director, Professor Parikh, for the concluding remarks.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words of inspiration and guidance. We at NABI stand committed to all the directions you are showing under your noble guidance. We remain committed to the vision of Viksit Bharat as we sail ahead under your leadership. As we round, something very surprising for the benefit of students, the launch of our industry-sponsored post-doctoral fellowship program. A big round of applause, I think. I'm very thankful to Federation of Seed Industry of India, who have agreed and shown their commitment to this noble cause, and they would like to contribute to the mission of BioA3 through their support. New postdoctoral fellowship in Agri-Innovation have been announced by Federation of Seed Industry of India. This initiative will empower our brightest mind to push the boundaries of biomanufacturing and drive innovation in collaboration with the industry leadership. I think time has come when we're talking about public-private partnership, and these kind of fellowship will be quite competitive, and I'm very happy that NABI has been chosen to be the first experimental plan for that. Thank you one and all for your patience and your presence over here and all the support, and I would like to conclude the event by saying Jai Hind, which will strive hard to make our country more strong, more prominent, and Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Spreading the message of peace and harmony, let us stand united for the national anthem now.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्सर जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
उगते हुए सूरज की तरह ब्रिक-नाबी निरंतर प्रगति के पथ पर अग्रसर रहे, इस कामना के साथ जिसका भी इस पथ पर हमें साथ मिला, उन सबको धन्यवाद, आभार। प्लीज ज्वाइन फॉर रिफ्रेशमेंट आउटसाइड।